He was a famous psychologist, specializing in behavior, but quite a scandalous man. He resigned his position at Johns Hopkins University after a personal scandal in 1920. This is the true Hollywood story of John Broadus Watson. On January 9th, 1878, in Greenville, South Carolina, John Broadus Watson was born into the family of Pickens Butler Watson and Emma Kezia Rowe. His mother and family were devout Baptists. Watson was against this religion choice, but he followed along with it anyway while growing up. At the age of 16, he entered Furman University, where he studied psychology with Gordon B. Moore. After 5 years, he graduated with his master's degree. He became a principal at Batesburg Institute, but left only a year later to get his graduate degree at the University of Chicago, and further studied to satisfy his interest in psychology.
He really worked hard in school, and I was very proud of him for getting into these prestigious schools. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the money, and he ended up at the University of Chicago with only $50 in his pocket. I was really shocked to hear that he actually made it through while working all these weird types of jobs.
Watson arrived at the University of Chicago and obtained several odd jobs. He worked with Donaldson, the functional psychologist, and helped him in his lab with several rat experiments. He was very interested in neurology and obtained his Ph.D. at only 25 years of age.
Watson was a good man. He worked hard and was never late. He really knew what he was doing.
His doctoral dissertation was a study of the psychological development of the white rat, which was a popular laboratory subject. The research launched his career as a specialist in animal psychology. This was the start of his long career in psychology with a concentration on behavioralism.
I remember in 1915, he finally became the president of the American Psychological Association. He definitely deserved that.
On December 26, 1903, Watson asked for Mary Ickes' hand in marriage. She woefully accepted.
John had a wonderful relationship. It was full of love, and we had two lovely children who loved their father unconditionally.
Coming up next, the start of Watson's time at Hopkins University and the scandalous life he began to lead. We're back with the true Hollywood story of John Broadus Watson. During his career at Chicago, Watson was rethinking what he was doing. He previously read a paper by James Keen Cattle and began to develop an idea that animal psychology can serve to develop the basis of human psychology. In the next 4 years, he perfected a behaviorist theory of the higher thought process based upon stimulus-response patterns of an implicit speech mechanism. He continued to gain recognition and was increasingly drawn into editing duties for a group of psychological review publications and the Journal of Animal Behavior. John was a great worker. He handled up to $11 million accounts. Though he was successful in advertising, he was never happy or satisfied. It was probably because of his past, but who knows? I don't. His experiments were now furthered into human instincts that humans have when they were born. He planned to go more extensive into this field, but his plans have been shattered. But not just for any reason that were they shattered, but because of the scandalous end to his career at Johns Hopkins. Although he was married, Watson was infatuated with a girl named Rosalie Rayner. She was previously one of his graduate students. She later becomes John's assistant in his laboratory.
John and I just fell madly in love. He was married, but we had a connection that him and his wife just didn't share. She wasn't interested in his career, and I was. Oh well. I knew something was up. John was working all the time. He never wanted to talk about work, and he smelled like a woman.
Rosalie has got it going on. Rosalie has got it going on.
One more time.
Rosalie has got it going on.
Rosalie, can I come over after work?
After work,
We can hang around. You can twerk.
you can twerk.
Is my wife back from her business trip?
I hope not.
Is she there or is she trying to give me the slip?
Of arsenic.
You know I'm not the faithful man that I used to be. I'm all grown up now, ex-wifey, can't you see?
Rosalie has got it going on. It's all I want, and I waited for so long. Mary, can't you see? You're just not the wife for me. I know I might be wrong, but I'm in love with Rosalie. Rosalie has got it going on. Rosalie has got it going on.
Mary, do you remember when I studied my ice?
Studied mice.
Well, my assistant was all over me after that.
Had an affair.
I could tell she likes me from the way she stared.
When she said,
And the way she said, you missed a mouse over there.
mouse over there.
And I know you think it's just a fling, but since I met Rosalie, I'm not faithful like I used to be.
Rosalie has got it going on. She's all I want, and I waited for so long. Mary, can't you see? You're just not the wife for me. I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Rosalie. Rosalie has got it going on. She's all I want, and I waited for so long. Mary, can't you see? You're just not the wife for me. I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Rosalie.
Macy's mom has got it going on. Macy's mom